Good evening, friends. Today we have a lot of news to share with you, and thank you for always, posting your comments. Welcome, Praveen, and also welcome, Lena. So now I'll start off with the first piece of news, which is, the kind of news that's coming from West Bengal is rather, it makes most of us happy. Now, apparently, why did the cops knock on TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee's door? Now, sources have revealed that what may have happened, there. Now, Kolkata police visited Abhishek Banerjee's home to remove CCTV and security equipment after his Death Plus cover was scaled down amid rising political tensions in West Bengal. Now, apparently, this happened Thursday afternoon, prompting speculation over the purpose of the visit by the police. Now, according to sources, the visit was linked to the recent downgrade and withdrawal of Banerjee's security cover, following which police have been retrieving surveillance equipment and other security-related infrastructure earlier installed at his residence, including his computer. Now, sources said officials arrived at around 3:50 p.m. and a few representatives entered Shantiniketan Banerjee's residence, remaining inside for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. During the visit, police reportedly took away a large LCD screen believed to be connected to CCTV monitoring, along with other equipment such as wires, DVR systems, and monitors that had been provided as part of Banerjee's earlier security arrangement. Banerjee had previously been under Z Plus security cover, which has since been withdrawn or scaled down, is what was reported. Now, the retrieval of surveillance equipment is understood to be part of the process of removing security infrastructure installed during the period of enhanced protection under Mamata Banerjee. There has been no official statement from Kolkata Police or Abhishek Banerjee's office regarding the visit at the time of the reporting, and the development comes amid heightened political tensions in West Bengal and recent action involving several TMC leaders. So now this is, very, it's quite amusing, isn't it? Because he was a man who, tried to sort of bully people and act as though he was actually the chief minister of West Bengal. So now the way Suvendu Adhikari is, behaving and, using all the power in his hands to teach these people a lesson, it gives us much pleasure because, it is these kind of chief ministers that we want ruling the different states so that there is law and order and corruption becomes less. So this is a news that I was really happy about. And now moving on to let's move on to Annamalai. Now there has been a stir in the TN BJP unit as posters pop up across Chennai. Now, hailing Annamalai. So this is, becoming rather, not only interesting because everybody seems to be supporting Annamalai, and everybody is, hoping that he will come back to power. So this is something that everybody is looking forward to. Now, the article reports that posters supporting K. Annamalai have appeared across Chennai, creating speculation and internal discussion within the Bharatiya Janata Party's Tamil Nadu unit ahead of the future elections. The posters describe Annamalai as a new identity of Tamil Nadu politics and highlighted slogans such as knowledge, courage, honesty. They were reportedly put up by a group calling itself the All India Annamalai Talaimai Narpani Mandram. The campaign has fueled speculation because some BJP supporters believe Annamalai is being sidelined within the party despite his popularity among grassroots workers. There is also political chatter, though unverified, that Annamalai could eventually launch a separate political outfit. Neither he nor BJP leadership has commented publicly. The timing is significant as the Tamil Nadu BJP is reassessing its strategy after weak electoral performance, with the party reportedly winning only one of the constituency it contested in alliance during the assembly elections. Senior BJP leaders have so far avoided commenting on the poster campaign or speculation about Annamalai's future role. The article frames these posters as a sign of growing internal buzz and uncertainty about Annamalai's political trajectory within Tamil Nadu politics. So let me just take a few comments as I uh, say the news. There's interesting news comments coming from Praveen. He says too many rumors around Annamalai because of a clueless Delhi BJP, unable to comprehend TN in spite of its government intelligence. Baffling is what he says. And welcome, Lena. And Lena says, why did he have 400 policemen? So she's talking about Abhishek Banerjee to guard him, and road was blocked for 15 years. Lots of corruption cases against him. You remember, Lena, in the case of the Arjika case, you remember what all was happening there. They were selling medicines at high rates, and there was trafficking going on. All these had come out of the mouths of the doctors working there. That there was a lot of corruption in the hospital. These were the things that the young doctor was planning to, speak about when she was gang raped and killed. So, so we have another person called Daniel. He's saying, no one is supporting Annamalai in Tamil Nadu. Maybe not, it may be true. And he has never won a single election in his entire life. And he also says, non-Tamil speculating anything and getting a rude awakening after election results. Now, this Daniel seems to be a very good friend of Vijay. So he must be pretty upset that Annamalai is, growing stronger by the day, or rather by the hour. So I'm sure, because see, Annamalai has great respect for Modi ji, and I'm sure something is going to come about that will make, give him the position that he deserves. And please make Annamalai the next PM candidate. This is Noor Tejas John who says, so this is just for you, Daniel. So when you look at the comments coming from our viewers, you'll know where the support is coming from. At least he kept BJP active. Current leadership is lazy, says Praveen. Welcome, Swami. Always nice to see you. Yes, I'm happy to see you as well. So this is something that has, sparked a lot of curiosity whether Annamalai will start his own party, in which case it's good, because then he doesn't have to look left and right whether which person in BJP is trying to cut him or cut him to size. So if he can form a party of his own, perhaps that will be also very good. Now, Prem Chandran says Annamalai creating a separate party will be a big loss to BJP. Yes, so they'll have to think, Prem Chandran. They are doing some thinking, and they're also doing some replanning. So let's hope that he forms an important part of it. So now, moving on to the next piece of news, we're talking about none other than the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who visited the headquarters of the Missionaries of Charity in Kolkata. So now I'm quite surprised that when everything about Mother Teresa has been exposed, and the fact that she was not working to actually help often the kids, she had a very devious purpose. This has been proved time and again, and now this man goes and visits the missionary. So let's just take a few comments as it comes. Yes, Prasanna says it's high time Delhi BJP should promote Annamalai to cabinet. No other than Annamalai can face Vijay. Absolutely. I agree 100% with you. And what is the stream about? Yes, I'm just talking about that. Rational and good move by Annamalai. Future knots with BJP and own party. Totally shameful that Hindus did not vote for Annamalai. They voted for a convert who won't bother about Hindus. And have you seen the way, Lina? In the most of the the images that you see of Vijay, you'll see him with his hands in pocket as though he's just going to run around Switzerland and sing a song with Trisha. So that's how he sees himself as a modern CM. He doesn't have any respect for the guests who see him. He's just in some mood of his, and he already seems bored with his role as well. So that's also a fact. The U.S. Department removed Mark's comments about Indian racism from their internet. Welcome, Ned. Now, so let's move on to these, the latest news about Marco Rubio's visit to the Missionaries of Charity in Kolkata during his first official trip to India, drawing attention to ongoing debates around foreign-funded religious organizations, India's FCRA regulations, and the legacy of Mother Teresa. Now, the article argues that Rubio's visit was politically symbolic rather than purely ceremonial. According to the article that has appeared, the timing coincided with the renewed discussions over proposed amendments to India's Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, which is the FCRA, which governs foreign funding for NGOs and religious organizations. The report notes that some American lawmakers and advocacy groups have expressed concern that stricter regulations could affect Christian charities operating in India. So one thing you will have noticed that ever since Vijay has come back to power, all these Christian charity foundations have become very, very active. It also frames the visit within a broader geographical context, suggesting that humanitarian organizations, authorities, Christian advocacy groups, and domestic political constituency in the US. It portrays the visit as part of a broader international conversion, about religion, charity, etc. When senior American leader Marco arrived in New Delhi after his carefully watched visit to Kolkata, diplomatic observers immediately noticed something unusual. Instead of a senior minister or high-ranking official, the Minister of External Affairs sent only a junior secretary to receive him at the airport. So now that is, rather not surprising because of the kind of remarks that this man makes. So let me also take some very interesting comments coming in. KK says, I don't understand why Southern temples still have atheists and Hindu haters control them in name of the government. Okay, so let me just go take some more comments. Yeah. Now Lena says, FCRA bill, Modi government going to bring. This is a deep state. Kolkata is extremely strategic place. Even British Empire had made Kolkata its capital to rule over India and Africa. And from what we also hear is that Suvendu Adhikari, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, did not even bother to see him. So these are all very, very strong points that we are saying that there is a completely different India who is not going to bow down to America at all. And this is coming under, a prime minister who has become very, very adamant about putting his foot down and showing that India is very strong. Lina says, America wants to make a new Christian state inside India. All NGOs should be banned. Now, this is also a very interesting comment made by Lina, because if you go to Europe, you'll find that people are not going to churches anymore, and churches are used as storehouses where they dump things. So, it's only in India that these people are so heavily active, and trying to convert people. And a very good piece of news that came from Kerala is that a large group of people, around 100 to 200 people, who had converted to other religions have done ghar wapasi, and they have come back. So that is something we need to clap and say thank you for coming back to your original religion and for supporting Sanatana Dharma. Now, Rational Human says, what is the issue with Marco visiting missionaries of charity? It is approved by the central government. Not sure why you're casting aspersions. Now, see, whether we are casting aspersions or not is something that you need to understand. Because Mother Teresa has never had an impeccable reputation, and we all know about it. Okay, so Rational Human, first we'd like to see your real name. Don't come anonymously. Whenever you want to discuss something very seriously, try to come, with your full name and let me see who you are. Because, we have a lot of anonymous people coming and just attacking us, without any grounds. So we are the channel that caters to, such people. So this is just, if you really want to seriously debate with us, come with a real name and a real, identity. Better for Annamalai to start a new party, says Ravindra. Marco Rubio came to sell US oil. That's all it is all about. Now, that's what Rational is saying. So I'll still wait for Rational to come out with a real name. BJP needs Annamalai and Annamalai needs BJP, says Prasanna. Our great nation will achieve 2047 Viksit Bharat Jai Hind. And that is a very good statement that you're making. Mother Teresa used to convert. I visited a place where when we were settled in Calcutta at that time. Alina, not only you, many people have exposed this. And my concern is Rubio may come to TN to see, yeah, that may be the real purpose. and then he can do a dance, a turn and a dance like Michael Jackson for him. We wouldn't be seeing Marco so soon if Trump's Chinese visit was a success, says Kiki. So there's a point to that. Mother Teresa came to India imagining imagine her country was more impoverished than India that time. Very well said, Lena. So let's move on, to the next piece of news. Now, the AIDMK has suffered a major blow on Monday as three of its sitting MLAs. So let's go on to that. Yeah, have now changed sides. So let's move on to this piece of news. Three of its sitting MLAs have resigned from their post to switch allegiance to TVK, which is Vijay's party. So here, obviously, a lot of money is changing hands. And this is why, obviously, these people are also moving sides with such hurry. Now, legislators Maragadam, Kumaravel, Jayakumar and Satyabama met with Assembly Speaker JCD Prabhakar to formally tender their resignations. The trio, known to be key loyalists within the CV Shanmugam faction of the AIADMK, has officially joined the TVK and met with TVK Minister Adav Arjuna to formalize their entry. Speaker JCD Prabhakar has also accepted the resignation of the trio. Following these exits, AIADMK's strength in the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly dropped down to 44 MLAs. The resignation also triggered expectations of by-elections in Maduranthakam, Perundurai and Dharapuram constituencies. Reports say that the resigning MLAs were part of the rebel factions that had earlier supported the TVK government during the confidence motion in Assembly. So let me just take a few more comments. Mother Teresa came to India, says Lena. Imagine, yeah, so we've taken this comment. The next one is America and the world wants India to be in turmoil constantly. Everyone is scared of Indian growth. Why? That's the question that she's asking. So which means that India is becoming very powerful and the other countries in the world are getting scared. And Prasanna says, there is no wonder 3 MLAs got blessings from Lottery Martin family. So now Lottery Martin seems to be giving lotteries to everybody, it looks like, isn't it? It's very, 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 interesting. Now, moving on to another very, very important topic is what Rahul Gandhi is trying to do using what he thinks is his little power that he has. So now he wants to create anarchy within India. It's very obvious. He's been trying to do it for years. Now, the BJP on Sunday launched a sharp attack on Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, accusing him of attempting to create anarchy in the country with the intention of destabilizing and toppling the Narendra Modi-led union government. The political confrontation escalated after Rahul Gandhi reportedly said during an internal Congress Minority Department Advisory Council meeting that the Modi government could collapse within a year due to increasing public dissatisfaction. Now, the BJP has reacted strongly to these remarks, with senior party leaders alleging that Gandhi's statements were irresponsible and aimed at creating uncertainty in the political system. Now, BJP national spokesperson Sampit Patra addressed the media and accused the Congress leader of deliberately trying to spread instability and confusion among the public. According to Patra, Rahul Gandhi's comments were not merely political criticism, but part of a broader strategy to weaken democratic institutions and provoke unrest against the elected government. So now, see, when you hear what Sampit Patra is saying, then we realize has the toolkit come back again? The deep state toolkit, has it come back, to India? And again, the person who is using it is Rahul Gandhi. Now, so these are strong points that are coming. And the BJP spokesperson claimed that the Congress party, unable to defeat the BJP electorally, was now resorting to fear-mongering and divisive rhetoric to regain political relevance. He also accused Rahul of consistently making statements that, according to him, damage India's image both domestically and internationally. Minister Piyush Goyal also joined and the criticism and alleged that opposition parties were working together to create an atmosphere of instability in the country, because it's very obvious, because they tried every other method, under their nose. And now he said that these toolkit gangs were reportedly attempting to weaken India politically and economically by spreading misinformation and questioning democratic institutions. Goyal claims that the BJP government remained committed to development, economic growth, and national security despite repeated attacks from opposition party. So now this is something that is very obvious, that even something like, what was that? The lizard party? No, the cockroach party, isn't it? The cockroach party is also the brainchild of someone like Arvind Kejriwal, a student sitting abroad, and then they're saying that we should take these people seriously. They live very comfortably in other countries, enjoy all the luxuries that they get there, and then they decide that they want to change India, you know. Do they even know what is happening in India and how India has changed in the past few years that BJP has come to power? Do they even know the kind of progress that it has seen? And so this is something that Rahul Gandhi, and of course someone like Vijay, is also going to use for his benefit. So let me just take some comments. Such a frustrated man, and he knows BJP government is scared of him. No one can touch him, says Lena. The main purpose of Marco Rubio to India is nothing but to sell oil, is what Menon Sri says. Now, why is his citizenship being dragged? May he know what deep state has told him? So this is something that is very, very important, and this has to come in the front. Now, idiots put Annamalai properly. Now, Sham, perhaps you could explain that. I didn't understand. Now, his loyalty is towards China. He has signed MOU with China. Now, he's hands in hand with deep state, says Lena. And Joseph is not able to understand the real politics, and his advisor is not giving right ideas to him. In fact, Bagatur, he looks exactly like what you said. He looks clueless. And he's, sometimes I feel that he's just dreaming that, Trisha will come and, just rescue him like they do in the movies, and take him to some fantasy land where they can sing and run around the trees. It's because his expression looks so strange. Vijay's expressions look so strange. It's as though he wants somebody to come and rescue him from a very, very boring job. So everybody knows that he is not in control. The whole Lottery family seems to be, pulling the strings. Piyush Goyal should not expose our Rahul. He is BJP's best campaigner, says Prasanna. And Bagatur says Joseph became CM because of deep state by missionaries. Yes, he doesn't know anything about politics. And whenever you see him anywhere, in the assembly or wherever you see him, he just doesn't know even how to behave. He looks phased out. It's like, he's a high on some sort of, medium. So we do not know whether he's there present, in that circumstance, whether he's actually seeing people who are around him. Now, let me also take you very importantly to the case that has been, making people really, really shocked. And now we are talking about none other than Trisha Sharma's case. Now, this is absolutely not only a shocking case, but also a very, very sad one. So let me just take you through what the latest developments are. Now, apparently today, the Supreme Court of India officially backed the Madhya Pradesh government's decision to hand over the investigation of Trisha Sharma's death to the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI. The state government had previously issued a formal notification consenting to this transfer to ensure a transparent probe. The second post-mortem, as requested by the parents, was also done, following the family's concerns regarding discrepancies in the initial autopsy, including issues related to height measurements and the absence of ligature material. Now, the MP High Court permitted a second post-mortem. So this was conducted by a team of doctors from AIMS, Delhi in Bhopal. The body has since been cremated. She held the who was Trisha? She held the title of Miss Pune, a very beautiful lady, and had a professional experience in modeling and acting. However, she had transitioned into a corporate role and completed an MBA after deciding that acting was not the path she wished to pursue long term. So this at this time, when she got married, one thing I must tell you is that I found the images very, very, very sad, because here is this young girl dancing, at her wedding, wearing a beautiful red dress, and everybody, her family is, joining her, and everybody is so happy to see this young girl happy, and maybe nobody knew that she was going to, be dead in a short time. You should listen to what Kiran Bedi said regarding the case, says Leena. CM Vijay should give a general interview with national news media. Any chance, says SSB. Now, Jagan family, Anil Reddy, Martin Lottery family, Johns, all missionaries dominating TN government. Missionaries partly successful. TN voters must keep a watch on missionary activity in TN. Very, very important. A very good point, by Sundaram. Now, okay, now moving on to the Trisha case. Now, the focus of the investigation, was because of the kind of death she got when she was at her in-laws' place in Bhopal, and the allegations of dowry harassment and domestic abuse brought by her family rather than her previous career. Now, the case we are referring to is this girl was only 33 years old, and so one feels almost. Who are these people who have done it to her? Because see, we've all seen her going up. In the CCTV footage, you've seen that. See, this girl was going upstairs, and it was said that she usually goes. The mother-in-law was giving interviews here and there, and they said that she had gone up to to speak on the phone. Now, some of the WhatsApp conversation. Now, this is the mother, the very learned judge, who is retired, and that is the son who was absconding. Okay, so so this girl had gone to the terrace to speak in private to someone, and from the WhatsApp conversations, you can make out that she was most probably speaking to her friend, and she was saying that she had such a feeling that she was being stifled. She could not speak, and then in the conversation, she also said that she had lost her job, and her mother-in-law was taunting her to get another job. In India, it's not so easy to get jobs, but this girl was trying. So there seems to be, from her conversations, you can make out that the mother-in-law was a very, very dominating person. So let me move on to, yes. So now the second post-mortem, has been done. Now, the primary accused, which is, we are talking about Samarth Singh, the husband, has been taken into police custody after absconding for a long time. He was initially absconding, and then he surrendered at the Jabalpur district on Friday, May 22nd, and was subsequently moved to Bhopal for further legal proceedings. Now, the Bar Council of India has also suspended his, legal practice. The case initially involved allegations of dowry harassment and abetment to suicide, naming Samarth Singh and his mother Giribala Singh, a retired district judge. The family had also raised serious questions regarding potential destruction of evidence. Now, you could just looking at Trisha's parents, you can make out the kind of agony they have been undergoing. Now, they had made, they wanted the status of the CCTV footage and the records of the numerous phone calls made by the mother-in-law in the immediate aftermath of the incident. Now, the Supreme Court, in its hearing on May 25th, emphasized the need for an impartial investigation and urged the media to exercise restraint, specifically requesting that the potential witnesses and the accused avoid giving public statements. Because you remember, this mother-in-law was just going to each and every channel and saying that she was a drug addict and she was used to drugs. So she was also tarnishing her reputation. Now the investigation has moved on to CBI. Now, so this is something that is very, very sort of disturbing, and the public discourse and investigative scrutiny surrounds Giribala Singh, a retired district judge, and the mother-in-law, who has been giving, who have been intense, driven by several factors that have led to, people are now questioning her conduct and role in the events leading to the death, because they very clearly you can see in the CCTV footage that they are bringing her body down. What happens when you just go to the terrace and suddenly this girl is brought back as a dead body? So what happened? And there were three men who were holding. One was the husband, one could have been the father, and one could have been the servant. Now, Giripala Singh has been highly active in media, frequently giving interviews where she has made serious allegations about the girl's character. So this is the retired judge, Giripala Singh. Now, this lady has been giving interviews left and right, and making serious allegations about her. She has claimed that Trisha struggled with substance abuse, had mental health issues, and acted impulsively. These public characterizations have been vehemently rejected by Trisha's parents, who have accused the retired judge of maligning the deceased to deflect responsibility. Now, the Solicitor General of India, representing the state, informed the Supreme Court that Giripala Singh has been uncooperative with investigations. And please bear in mind, when the death happened, she made 100 calls to different people to safeguard their position, look like. Now, despite multiple notices, including a final one served via WhatsApp and post, she reportedly did not make herself available to record her statement as required by the investigation. So, this woman has been, if the son has been absconding, she has also, been unavailable, So, she was granted anticipatory bail by a sessions court shortly after the incident, a decision that was strongly challenged by the MP High Court, by both the state government and the victim's parents, family. The Solicitor General described the granting of this bail as having been done in a very hurried manner, without adequate consideration of the gravity of the allegations, specifically noting that her position as a former judicial officer was a factor requiring closer scrutiny. Now, the legal team representing Trisha's family had raised formal allegations of evidence tampering. So, this is very important, evidence tampering, specifically regarding the CCTV footage and DVR records at the matrimonial home. They argued that these discrepancies were intentional, intended to obfuscate the truth of what transpired on the day of the death. Because of her status as the chairperson of a district consumer commission and a former judicial officer, there have been calls for her to be held to higher standards of accountability. The state government has initiated inquiries to determine if she can continue in her official post while under such serious investigation. Now, the court has taken this very seriously, and because of the allegations of institutional bias and procedural irregularities, particularly given that the accused are a lawyer and a former judge. Now, the court has urged all parties to stop making public statements in the media and instead allow the CBI, which is now taking over the probe, to conduct a neutral and thorough investigation. Now, the CBI will now be tasked with verifying these conflicting narratives, examining the digital evidence, and determining whether there was any orchestration or cover-up involving the mother-in-law and her son. Also, please note that in the CCTV footage, you can see how calm and cool the mother-in-law was when the body was brought down. If she was in shock, then it would have shown. There was no scream, nothing. So, which means everything seemed to be, allegedly planned. And these are the points that, are happening now. Now, the Madhya Pradesh High Court has issued a notice on these petitions and is actively renewing the challenges of her pre-arrest. Now, also another piece of news is that there was another case where another girl has been harassed, by a husband who has been beating her openly, and that's also come up. So now I think we need to have stricter laws. So let me just take a few comments from Lena. Her husband said she wanted a career, no harm in this, but family was against her career. What is the use if Annamalai put a new party for himself? And when she said, take me back, then why did her parents? Yeah, see, this is what I don't understand. The moment you sense that your daughter's in problem, you should just take the next car, go and bring her, isn't it? Or the next flight, which is something that they did not do. So that makes me very, very sad, especially because this daughter, they had only, I think, two children, one a son and a daughter. So this is something that they should have, taken care of because, knowing that the girl was in serious problem, she kept saying that she is being stifled. So this is something that leaves a very, very bad taste. And I hope if this judge, because there is a lot of allegations about judges now coming out, corruption, so many cases. I hope the judiciary will also be cleaned up in this process. With this, we end the session. We'll see you tomorrow with a lot more news.